Hi there. Um, Seems to be a lot of commotion out in the world right now, especially on YouTube. If you try to find anything in relation to learning about Jesus. So just want to say I'm not an expert. I am a new believer, and the whole reason I put that first video together in April was because the dreams were bothering me and I didn't understand what they were. So that was the reason I did that. And as you know, later on, I heard my name being called, and I know not a lot of people are going to believe that, but that's the reason behind what I'm doing. So I'm not an expert. I am not even 1 year reading the Bible, and I only started believing in Jesus in March. So you need to know that, like, what I say, the understandings I have, you take what resonates with you, if it does, and double check what I say. I'm just trying to be open in my experience in case it does help anybody that comes across my videos. So after the last video, I thought it would be a good time to talk about the parable of the 10 virgins. And this is one of the first parables that I came across many years ago when I opened the book, not taking it seriously. I just kind of opened it to look around. I saw the parable of the 10 virgins, and I didn't like it very much because back then I didn't like the Bible. But on this journey that I've been on since September, I started looking at it a bit differently. So I'm just going to share what I understood from this. And it's open to interpretation. So I saw this as these are Jesus believers, people who do believe in him. Not necessarily churches, but anyone who believes in him. And I did some research on this parable because I really didn't understand it, and I was kind of doing research on my own, so I don't go to church. And I figured out that I believe the lamp represents the commandments. Probably has layered meanings, but well, one interpretation is it represents commandments. So I looked at it as when you become a believer in Jesus, you're almost like given an imaginary lamp. Like you know the commandments now. Time to try to follow these. We're not perfect, but Jesus does say he sends the Spirit to help, and I think it's up to you whether you hold the Spirit or grow it. It's just how I see things. So 5 are considered wise and 5 are considered unwise. So the wise virgins, they have oil in their lamp, and I didn't understand what the oil was. Like the lamp, the commandments, and then this is so far back I don't really remember, but I figured the oil must be a symbolic representation of trying to follow the commandments. We're not perfect and we don't change overnight. It's hard work to try to change our ways, but trying to take that pathway, I think you put oil in your lamp. So that's why, there's good people and there's bad people in church. Not necessarily bad, but I mean foolish. So the 5 foolish are ones that maybe at one point in their life they did learn about Jesus and what he did for us, but they didn't take any of it, I guess, too seriously in trying to walk the pathway of improving ourselves. So I think they're considered foolish because they went back to what God considers like sinful life. If you went back to lying, if you went back to stealing or anything along those lines, I think it's considered foolish because he He told you the way that you should be trying to walk. So the 5 whys, this doesn't necessarily represent people just like going to church. I think it represents, like what's Jesus's number one teaching. He wants us to love, like try to grow your love for God and for others, other people. And that's very hard. That's working on our heart is hard when there's a lot of bad in the world. So there's different ways, I think, to put oil in the lamp. Some people, they try, being open about sharing about Jesus. That's probably helpful for the oil. Other people, it's just a personal journey, with God, of trying to be a better person. Maybe they have just one thing that they needed to work on. Like I needed to work on coveting. That was something I needed to do. Because, not a person, but wanting what other people had, I would get jealousy. So that's something I had to work on. So, maybe I put some oil, imaginary, it's symbolic. But for working on my heart, I learned Jesus wants us to forgive. And that's an important step. He says don't forgive just 7 times, forgive 70 times 7. So the way to do that, there's 2 types of people, according, to Jesus. And I am summarizing. I just trying to help others to understand. So one type of people, they do know Jesus. They do know the Bible, and they are trying to learn these ways. And these ones making mistakes, you're not supposed to be harsh on them. You're supposed to, try to gently guide them the way that they're supposed to be walking, gently. And I think he says somewhere, if they continue to live a sinful life despite knowing this knowledge, you're supposed to turn away from them after so long. And I don't know that part yet. And then the second group of people are people who haven't learned anything about him yet, and you're supposed to be with the fruit of the Spirit, you're supposed to, by walking his way, people are supposed to see from your actions. How do I explain this? Give me a moment. Sorry, I had to take a moment. So we're supposed to try to walk in love, forgiveness, mercy, understanding. So if somebody hasn't learned anything from the Bible yet, we're supposed to be understanding of that, and forgive as much as possible. So that's kind of what I did. I don't go to church. I tried to take his teaching seriously on my own, in private, at home. So I tried working on, people who hurt me, excuse me, in my life. I tried working on forgiving them. Really, it's hard. Like some people, they've hurt us so badly, we don't even want to imagine them in our head, We don't want to think about them because it hurts. But I did. I forced myself with, I started with the one that, impacted my life the most. And this person, they lived far away, and I didn't want to, so I couldn't go see them. So I just kind of worked on it myself. And I tried to imagine myself, in their shoes, things that maybe that happened to them in their life and why they may have made those choices, those sort of things. That's what I did. And I did pray and ask for help, to forgive this person. I didn't think I'd ever be able to forgive that person, because it impacted my life so much. But I was able to see, I'm not perfect either. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And so that was part of that. So I do think there are many ways to put that oil in your lamp. It's just, I think it's a lot to do with a personal relationship with God. And, trying to do that heart work And I think, in my opinion, like when you do that, like it can impact the growth of the spirit. So if you imagine it that way, and I could be wrong, this is the way I looked at it. If you imagine it that way, like if there was, if you just worked on this, spiritually, and people that maybe hurt your feelings or they did wrong to you, and you really tried to forgive them and understand that they made mistakes, and maybe they still are making mistakes. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they will never be better, or maybe they will. You don't know. But imagine like how much that hurts. What was done to you, like how big that pain is. Imagine like if you like try to really forgive, and depending on how big that is, it's almost like that's how much oil goes in your lamp. Okay? I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm sharing as if I'm talking to my own family members. Like my own sisters. When I told them my interpretation of what the 10 virgins represented, that's what I said. So I'm just sharing that with you, hoping that it's helpful. I also wanted to read Luke 33. It's called the lamp of the body. So remember, there's layered understandings. So this is called the lamp of the body. No one, when he has a lit lamp, puts it in a secret place or under a basket, but on a lamp stand, that those who come in may see the light. The lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, when your eye is good, your whole body also is full of light. But when your eye is bad, your body also is full of darkness. Therefore, take heed that the light which is in you is not darkness. If then your whole body is full of light, having no part dark, the whole body will be full of light, as when the bright shining of a lamp gives you light. Okay? I encourage you, this is Luke 33. I encourage you to read that, and that I think that has connections to the lamp as well, and the layered meanings. And I do believe that's a very spiritual paragraph. And I think I'm going to leave this one here, and I hope that was helpful. Thank you.